He locked his daughter in the car and went into the restaurant to buy something. But just as he left, two modified cars suddenly pulled up next to theirs, and several masked thugs with guns got out and walked toward the girl. Sensing danger, the girl immediately got out of the car and tried to run, but was eventually caught by the thugs. She screamed desperately for her father, but was met with a heavy punch. Then, the gang leader slowly approached. The girl had never met these people before and had no idea what they wanted. "I don't have anything. I wish you money. But you're skinny." Meanwhile, the father was still inside the restaurant, completely unaware of what was happening outside, until the thugs raised their guns. The father immediately sensed something was wrong and rushed outside. All the thugs quickly got into the car, but the long-haired man who fired the shot was frozen on the spot. It was obvious this was his first time killing someone. He was then tackled to the ground by the charging father, who tore off his mask, and the two began to wrestle. Suddenly, police sirens blared. Seeing this, the gang leader had no choice but to leave with the rest of his men. During the struggle, the long-haired man kicked the father away and tried to escape, but he ran straight into the arriving police and was immediately arrested. The man held his daughter, devastated, as she lay in a pool of blood. By the time his wife arrived at the hospital, their daughter was already gone. A once happy and harmonious family was instantly shattered, and the reason for all of this was simply that the crime boss, Old Boo, was testing his godson, the long-haired man, go out, randomly kill someone and escape, or after getting out of prison, he could officially join the gang. The girl just happened to be the unlucky victim. The daughter's unexpected death plunged the family into immense pain, but it wasn't over yet. The prosecutor told the man that the long-haired man only admitted to assaulting a police officer and resisting arrest, and denied everything else. And since there was no surveillance or eyewitnesses at the scene of the crime, there was no way to prove that the long-haired man was the murderer. At most, he could only be sentenced to 3 to 5 years, and with good behavior, his sentence might even be reduced. The man was stunned. The other party had clearly killed his daughter, yet would only receive such a light punishment. If the law couldn't judge the murderer, then he would have to fulfill his duty as a father. So at the court hearing the next day, when John looked at that disgusting face, he lied to the judge. He didn't choose to testify against the murderer in court. The murderer walked out of the courtroom with confidence, his brother full of pride at his performance, and even his father praised him, saying he was now a real man. Little did they know, all of this was seen by John from a distance, his eyes filled with a burning desire for revenge. Late at night, John waited outside the murderer's apartment for him to appear. When he saw him come out, John quietly followed him in his car. Once there was no one else around, John suddenly floored the gas pedal and charged forward. One of the murderer's legs was left permanently disabled. Then John got out of the car, took a baseball bat from the trunk, while the murderer kept spewing insults about his daughter. Bayhan didn't give him any chance to argue. He grabbed the bat and smashed it down hard. At that moment, John unleashed all his anger, beating the murderer into a pulp. Afterwards, John drove away from the crime scene and disposed of all the evidence in his home garage. However, he didn't realize that he had actually left behind a piece of digital evidence. The next day, as usual, the white-haired man arrived at the gang headquarters, when suddenly his subordinate told him that his brother had been killed. He rushed to the crime scene, where the police had already cordoned off the street. Staring at his brother's cold corpse, the white-haired man was furious. He quickly gathered all the girls who had been on duty that night and asked if they had seen anything unusual. One girl told him that a well-dressed white man had appeared outside. She wasn't there for the party but had been sitting in a car outside the whole time. After hearing this, the white-haired man took out his phone, pulled up a photo of John, and asked if it was that man. The girl confirmed on the spot that it was him. The white-haired man burst out laughing, surprised that the man who had lost his daughter actually dared to come for revenge. He then ordered his men to gather everyone and search for John's whereabouts. A bloody storm was about to descend on John. The next day, John was sitting outside a cafe working when the white-haired man and his men, armed with guns, quickly approached him. Fortunately, John noticed in time, narrowly escaping disaster. He hid behind a car. When a henchman approached with a gun, John rushed forward, knocking him down, unleashing heavy punches. At that moment, the white-haired man arrived, so John quickly got up and ran. Luckily, a police car appeared, forcing the white-haired man to reluctantly put away his weapon.